Alright. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Late Night Tips. Tonight's episode is going to be my first tutorial on the Analog RYTM. I've had about 2 months with the device and I'm feeling more and more confident, so I would like to start sharing some of my experiences and some of the things that I've learned while using the Analog RYTM. Today's episode is going to be about my favorite functionality of the Analog RYTM, Conditional Triggs. It's a really cool functionality, but just for the record, there's already a really good video on conditional trigs on YouTube. You can go check Carl Michael's Cabinet of Curiosity. I'm going to link his film in the description. A really cool and fun breakdown of what conditional trigs are. In my video, I'd like to give you a couple more practical hints and show you examples of how those conditional trigs can be used. Let's get right into it. So, what are conditional trigs? It is a functionality that allows you to make your analog RYTM patterns a little bit more lively and a little bit more varied by applying different conditions. So basically you have a set of conditions that need to be met for a given sound or a trig to be activated and to produce a sound. We have 6 types of conditional trigs, but 4 of those also have a negation or a negative option. So in total, we have 10 options for conditional trig architecture. Those conditional trigs are fill, first, percentage, previous, neighbor, and A to B. And I'm going to break them down one by one in a second, but also keep in mind that fill, first, previous, and neighbor also have their negative counterparts, their negations, so to speak. Okay, so let's look into this very basic rhythm. And let's say that I want to add a snare fill. Sound like that. But obviously, I don't want this pattern to play all over and repeat every time. What I can do is actually make this work in fill mode only. What is fill mode? It's actually very simple. When your grid recording is deactivated and you press the pitch or scale button, you activate the fill. And in order for this to be activated during the fill, you need to make those fill conditions. Keep in mind that you cannot activate a global trig condition. It's only trig specific. So you need to do a parameter lock and give it a fill. Okay, let's see if this works. See, it doesn't work right now. I need to deactivate grid recording. And so on. So this works whenever I press the fill button, which is the page scale button. Pretty cool. So why do we have the negative option? This one underlined, this is the negation. Well, let me show you. We have this pattern here. So let's say that I want to keep this normal, but for the fill, I would like this. So that's also very simple. I'm going to make this trig, this one, a condition under fill. But this one, I'm going to negate the fill, which means that this only plays when fill is not activated, and this plays when fill is activated. Let's see. This gives you a lot of cool options for building your fills. So that's the fill trig condition. The second conditional trig is actually very, very easy. And it's a first. So I have this long sound in here. And let's say that I want this to play only at the beginning of my sequence. So I'm going to go to first. And when I activate this pattern, it's going to play, but it's not going to play any more than that, which is really cool. Negated first, it's not going to play the first time, but then play every single time later. So it's very logical, really. So the next one I want to talk about is the percentage. So let's see that I want to have something like that. Okay, and I'm going to actually take the velocity down on those to make them really sound like ghost notes. And now I'm going to give them a percentage. Okay, 40% of this happening, 30%. So they're going to be activated randomly based on the probability. And if you set the probability to 25%, it doesn't mean it's going to play every fourth bar. It just means that there's a 25% chance that this is going to happen. So now, let's say that you want to have a fill that is activated based on a percentage, something like that. Yeah. So let's see this. Okay, and I want this to be activated based on a 25% chance. But if I set all of those trigs to 25, it doesn't mean that this entire fill is going to play each and every time, because every single one of them is going to follow the 25% chance. So that's why you can use the previous. And what previous means is that these trigs will only be activated if the previous one has been activated. So it creates a chain of sorts. If this one is activated, all the remaining 3 trigs are also going to be activated. Let's see. No. No. Here we go. All right. So that was the 25% probability. Here we go. So the entire fill can work that way. So what if you want to play a longer fill that it involves 2 tracks, but it's also governed by a percentage? So let's see, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So this one I'm going to make it, let's say, higher percentage. Why not? 50% chance. This one previously follows the previous condition, and this one as well. And for those two, I'm going to actually use the neighbor condition. So basically, if the trigs are activated on the previous track, on this track, these are going to be activated as well. Okay, and now let's see that I want to add 2 more. But I want them to play only when this fill is not activated. Let's see. So I'm going to use a negated neighbor condition. So when this track or those 2 trigs don't hear the neighbor, they're going to play. If they hear the neighbor, they're not going to play. Let's see. Nope. Sound like that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And finally, the last option, which really expands the possibilities of the analog rhythm way beyond the 64-step architecture, are A-B conditions. And we're going to use the kick drum for this. Let's say that I want to have this. But not every time. Let's say at the end of every 4 bars. So one thing I can do is obviously copy and make it play at the end of every 4 bars, but I can also go to A-B conditions. So I'm going to make it play on the 4th bar of the 4th measure. Doesn't play. 3, 4. Should play here. Yep, it played. Yeah, so those are conditional trigs. It's a really cool functionality, and they can really elevate your productions to the next level when it comes to how lively and how interesting drum patterns are. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Late Night Tips. If you have any questions regarding analog rhythm, make sure to drop them in the comments. If you have any tutorial requests for the analog rhythm, let me know in the comments as well. Make sure to subscribe for more tutorials and more jams. Have a great night and take care.